So, Carsten, what are the tools that you need in order to make a great ear impression?
You need to have materials to ensure that your tools are clean. So either pre-packed in a bag like this one to disinfect, or you need some disinfection out of a bottle. Then you have your otoscope that you can either clean the tip on or put a new one on. You could also use an electronic or video otoscope instead. The next thing is a light pen. The light pen you need in order to place the cotton pad into the client's ear to protect the tympanic membrane. Then you need to have syringes like these ones so that you can actually put materials into both ears in the client. These should be cleaned as well. Then you need the materials to put into the syringe that are based on silicone material that will then give you a perfect impression. You read how to use it in the instruction for the material that you're using. And lastly, you will end up placing it in a box where you remember to put the name and reference on the box so you will not misplace it anywhere.
So now you have all your tools ready and you have a client in the clinic. What do you do then?
The first thing I do is go wash my hands while the client looks at it, because then they know that my hands are clean, ready to do something to their ear. I place the client comfortably. I will then tell them that they close their mouth without biting their jaw together. This is in order to get the best possible impression afterwards, whether you want to have it for ear molds or custom-made products.
Examine the ear canal. Check for excess cerumen, exostosis and other blockages. Make sure the eardrum is healthy. Use the light pen to gently notch a cotton pad into the ear. Put the string behind the ear. Make sure the cotton pad completely covers the eardrum. Press out the material thinly in your palm. Make sure the surface is large. Mix for about 30 seconds until the color of the mix is even. Because the curing process of the material starts as soon as the two components come into contact, it is imperative that you work quickly while mixing the material and loading the syringes. Pull outwards on the pinner to widen the ear canal. Place the syringe tip inside the canal. Apply gentle and even pressure. Let go of the ear when the syringe tip is out of the ear canal. Fill the ear completely in one movement. Do not stop or pause. The material must fill in all landmarks, such as the concha ball, the tragus, the antitragus, and the contour of the ear. Remove the syringe. Wait 5 minutes. check consistency by using your fingernail. Loosen the top of the impression. Pull the ear to loosen the impression further. Pull in the bottom of the impression to remove it from the ear.
Now that you've made the impressions, how do you recognize that it's a good one?
Well, I put them in the box here with identification on so I can find the right client. And I'll just take it out of the box to show you what's important to look at. First of all, I look at the length of the tip. That length should be 15 millimeters optimally. Sometimes you cannot go all that way, but that's the best. For IICs, it should be even a little bit longer. Then you look at each side of the impression and you ensure that it is actually full-bodied so that there are no shiny holes. A shiny hole indicates that there has not been contact to the tissue, which means that it has not been in contact with the ear. But you can see in this particular impression, everything is perfect. There has been contact to the ear all over the impression.
So now that we know how to recognize a perfect impression, can you tell us what is the characteristics of a not so perfect one?
Yes, I have here 4 examples that I can elaborate on and show you what is not so good on each of them. I'll just put them here and explain to you. In this particular impression, we can see that the material has not been mixed. There's an uneven color between the blue and the white. The result is also that it did not come all the way into the ear canal, and it didn't even fill up in the bottom of the canal. So this is for sure an imperfect impression, and it should never be sent to have ear molds or hearing aids produced from this one. There are other examples. This one, for example, you have past the cotton dam, so the result is that your ear canal becomes too short because it can only be used from the perfect area and down, and this is too small. There is a wire track which is really big here, and this comes because the wire was pulled out while the impression material was still soft. In the sympaconcha area, it is not full-bodied either. This is not so important. This one, a sponge has been used, and a sponge has the negative side effect that it will push back when you have put in the soft ear impression material, and as a consequence we can see here clearly that it has become too short. Turning it around, it will not live up to the need of the impression length to make a good ear mold or a good in-the-ear instrument. Here in the sympaconcha area, a lot is missing, so that should have been filled up a little bit more as well. And the last one I want to show you is one where it is really not filled up well enough. The material started to cure before you finished the impression taking. The ear canal, again a sponge, and it is really an imperfect impression which is by far too short, and it cannot be used to manufacture an ear mold or a custom-made instrument.
So what does it mean to the final product that the impression is good?
Well, when it's full-bodied and long enough, I have space. I have space to place the components correctly so that I can achieve the options that I need. I can fit the final hearing aid precise and comfortable in the ear, and it will be discreet and nearly invisible. This makes a high satisfaction for the customer, whether it's being a custom-made hearing aid or an ear mold.